Hi, I'm Christy Bernstein,
And I'm Catherine Patrick.
and we are going to talk to you today about some Schoology Basics.
All right, so we'll try to keep it short, but it is some important information that will help you out. We want to introduce you to some Schoology Basics. These are the most important features that you need to know to be successful using this learning platform. First, Colleen's vision is to implement an innovative, rigorous, comprehensive education program. Through Schoology, I believe that we can provide all of these things. And it definitely introduces the needs of the 21st century learner. So I wanted to go over just a couple of those things and let you know that this is a really positive outcome in a not so pleasant pandemic situation here. So the first characteristic of a 21st century learner that's important is creativity and innovation. And this is going to be something that students will need as they go forward in their lives outside of school. And that means that they have to be able to create solutions from problems that come up just because of things that are changing or unexpected, to develop new ideas that are original, that shows their curiosity for something. And with collaboration and communication, in what we are working with today, especially in school, the communication that needs to happen, especially with our virtual learners, between the teacher and the student is absolutely essential. In fact, I believe that most of the problems that we are having are because there is a disconnect in being able to communicate with our students. But there are things within inside of Schoology that can help facilitate this and improve this, even if you are not face-to-face. Critical thinking and problem solving, very important 21st century skill. Everything is changing. We have seen drastic changes with the pandemic. It has forced us into a situation that really requires us to problem solve and to think of ways to have different approaches to get our message across. This also means that our students have to be thinking critically and problem solving when they run into technology issues, when they run into problems with the internet not working, to find a way to, again, communicate any issues that they're having and work together with other students in the classroom or with their teachers to solve the problems, or even find a workaround to get past and get their assignments turned in. So with everything changing so much and being forced into this is probably one of the most important skills that our 21st century learners need to learn. And this is the positive result of our pandemic, is that we are in a position right now to really encourage critical thinking and problem solving.
And I also think students need to be able to be adaptable. I think being adaptable falls into that category and being able to problem solve. So don't be afraid to come up with some other solution to help you get through whatever trouble you're having.
Global citizens, this one may not be reflected so much introducing Schoology, but it is something that 21st learners will have to do. We are so technology driven that we are connected with the entire world, and being able to identify and understand what's going on in different cultures and things like that is very important. And technology literacy, this one is huge, and this is going to lead us directly into learning about the basics for Schoology. We have been forced with the situation that we are in globally to really make use of technology. But even if you have issues with that, there are workarounds that are still technology based. And keep in mind that your teachers are willing to work with you to solve these problems and to find solutions, even if it does end up having to be outside of Schoology, until we can work to find a way to make that work for you. So in the 21st century, technology is completely revolutionary, and it is changing constantly and incredibly quickly. So it is part of everything we do, from learning in school to socializing to how we shop. It is just a really big deal. Working with Schoology's most important features for student success. So what we are going to cover is where to find the material, which includes the folder locations and submitting assignments, keeping up with grades, how you can communicate within Schoology, and an external application using Microsoft Office.
Okay, when you log into Schoology, this is the screen it's going to take you to. This is kind of like your home page in Schoology, where you can see your courses up at the top, any groups you might be put in from a teacher or club, some resources. You could also, it's a place to check your grades, but this is also where you're going to see your calendar, your notifications, and be able to send messages. And then any recent activity is going to go on, it will be in the middle. And then there'll be some places for, on the very far right side, all your overdue items that you have not submitted from any and all of your classes will be on the right side. And at the very, very bottom, after all of your overdue work is presented, you will find the upcoming assignments that have not yet been, that are not yet due.
So one of the most important features, and it is critical for the students because this is where the teachers are putting all of the information, and that is for the students to go to their courses, and they have a link for their courses in the upper left-hand corner, and then to choose a course. And we've got our student enrolled in several courses here. So going to the course, it will come up with the materials page first. And this is the main page where the student is going to find all of the face-to-face learning. So students must look in the folders that are created by the teachers for the instructions about the assignments. These instructions are the teaching that the students would usually receive face-to-face. So you'll find the actual folders right underneath, and it depends on the teacher. All of our art teachers have got kind of a digital classroom at the very top of the page. This is kind of an informational banner, and they have some hot links of important information that's usually kept current and up to date. But there's also the folders underneath it. So you have your daily attendance. That's very, very important for your virtual learners. But right underneath that, you will find the different folders for the 9 weeks, and then broken down by each week. Inside of these folders is the different instructions and information that is given daily about the assignments that are due.
And for some of my assignments, I took away the daily folders because some of my assignments lead from one to the next, and it can be confusing when they're all in each a different folder, especially if you're absent or miss a work for a day or two. And so some of my folders have all the information, kind of like this one, where each assignment for the entire week is just listed one after the other, and being able to see them all at once.
But one of the biggest problems that we have seen with the virtual learners is that they are looking in that list that we showed earlier, and they are simply clicking on the assignment itself. So, for example, if I click on this assignment right here, there are no instructions on this assignment. All of the instructions explaining how to do this assignment were inside of the folder, and the assignment was inside of the folder. And you can see the navigation of how we got to this folder. The art section, the first 9 weeks, the week of August the 31st, and the third day. But if they just click on the assignment, they missed all the information about how to do the assignment and how to turn it in and be successful with the assignment. So this is one of the biggest issues that we have seen working with the students virtually, is that they are not actually navigating into the folders and looking for that learning that they would have received face-to-face, but because they're virtual, it's all inside of a folder. So it's incredibly important that they are navigating to those folders and looking at all the information that is provided there. All right, so it's important then to know how to submit our assignments. So let's take a look at one of those assignments. So this one, as you can see, there's only the title, all right, and a rubric. We're going to talk about rubrics later. So for a student to submit an assignment, they click on the Submit Assignment button. But I want to point out that there are 3 different tabs up here. The Upload tab allows the student to find a file. You click on File, it brings up a list of files that are available on the computer.
And on your device, when you click that file button, it usually asks you to access your photo library.
Okay. And if they click on the Create button, this allows them to have basically a text editable document. So if they needed to write something in, that allows them to do that.
It also allows you to insert images, but if you insert images here, you have to make sure you drag the image to make it large, because otherwise when it submits it to the teacher, it's very, very tiny, and that's something I have found. So if you use this button to create, if you need to insert text and words all at the same time, you do have to make sure to drag that photo to enlarge it.
And then your Resources tab, this is another section that we're not going to go into today, but the students have a resources folder where they can add documents that they've created or been working on.
Or upload images.
And then just select them and add them to their assignment.
So this could be a way, if you're working on your phone to take a photograph, you could save it to your images, save it to that resources folder, and then you could go to your computer and upload it if that helps anybody.
Yes. So in this case, I'm going to just quickly upload a picture. It is important to make sure that that yellow line in orange gets completely put in there and that it says complete. If the students are clicking submit too soon, it submits something and it doesn't have anything attached. So I will click the submit button right here, and you will notice that it is now changed. It says an assignment has been submitted. It allows the student to add this submission to their portfolio, which might be a good idea for just keeping up with their own files that they've turned in. But it also has a resubmit assignment button here. So if the student receives some feedback from the teacher to make some improvements or make some corrections, they can go back in and then resubmit the assignment. It looks exactly the same. They just go back in and either recreate or attach from the resources or upload a new picture or file that they've been working on. Okay, so the next most important question that we get asked as teachers all the time is, what am I missing and what are my grades? Now, officially, we do want to say that you should check for your grade averages and what your average for the class is in home access. But for students who are looking specifically to know, what assignment have I done? What assignment am I missing? What grade did I get on the assignment? They can click over here in the left-hand column on grades. And they want to look specifically for the summative category and the formative category. Teachers may have other categories for other purposes, but in this case, we will find a formative category. And I want to show you some of the things that will come up that will help the student navigate and understand what's happening here. So first is this little box that has 4 little boxes in it, and that just indicates that it is being graded based on a rubric. If there is an actual grade here, then that obviously tells the student that the work has been graded. And the icon that is to the far right indicates that an assignment has been turned in. Depending upon the assignment, this icon might look a little bit differently. So in this case right here, we have a rubric, it's been graded, they completed the assignment, there's also a comment that's been made, and they can see that a comment's been made. On this next one,
Are they able to actually click on the rubric right here?
yes,
Oh, okay.
they can click on the rubric
read
and
there.
see why they got that grade. Good question. I didn't even think of that. And in this case, you can see that this item has not been graded, but the student has submitted the work. So if a student looks in here, they can quickly see that they've submitted assignment. This has been a submitted discussion, so the icon looks a little bit different. Down here, we have a quiz, and this icon looks different, and that one was automatically graded. So the student can look in here and see that they've submitted assignment, and they can also see if it's been graded. Now, in this case here, where we just have the rubric icon and a dash, this means that there's a rubric attached. It has not been graded. It hasn't even been marked with a 0 yet because there is no submission. All right, so a teacher would probably be going in and either marking this missing or putting this as a 0 if it is very past due. But this is how a student would interpret what grades they have and whether or not they are missing any assignments. All right, so another place to look at grades would be along this top dark blue bar that goes horizontally. And if we click on grades here, we can go to the grade report and we can choose the class. All right, so we are going to look at this one.
Sure. Yeah, let's look at that one.
Let's look at that one. All right, and in this case, we are actually seeing some different icons here under the formative category. So we see a missing icon and an excused icon and an incomplete. The excused would usually mean that the teacher is letting the student know that for whatever reason, they don't need to go back and make this assignment up. However, the missing and the incomplete work should be a clue to the student that there is something that still needs to be done or taken care of in order to receive credit or full credit. Missings will be marked automatically as 0s in the grade book.
All right, back on the same homepage here, on that blue bar at the top, we have a calendar, and this is going to be where all of your assignments can be seen. It's just another way to see your assignments and see what's going on in all of your classes.
But to make this feature more useful and helpful, here are some things that it can do. If you go over to, and if you're looking at this through a computer on the web where you have a little bit bigger screen, it's a little bit easier to make some of these adjustments. So you should see the month, and I'm going to go back 1 month so you can see how busy this can really look. Right now, this is incredibly confusing.
Yeah, it looks really overwhelming. And for me, as a teacher, I know I don't really use this feature because I didn't know it could do all these things that you're about to show us. So.
Yes. So if you go over here to next to the month, we've got 6 calendar options here. Your calendar may look a little bit different. But one of the nice things is that for each one of your courses, you can change the color. So I'm going to start by going through and just changing the color on each of these courses here, and even some of these other options here for groups. And then, of course, you have your personal calendar.
Yeah, so if you want to add your own, like you've got band practice and you want to put that on your calendar, you can try to do that.
Yes, a very good thing for 21st century to keep track of all of our busy schedules, and not just what somebody is giving you, but maybe some of your own personal goals. Now, to make this even easier to navigate through, leave your personal calendar checked, but you can go through and uncheck everything else. All right, and let's say you are only looking to see, and you're trying to find one specific assignment. You can just click that one class, and it will show you all of the things that have been assigned for that one class.
In that one day.
Yes.
I mean, you can look at it, and you can look at it day by day there.
Yes.
So it's not going to be very helpful for you to look at the week view. Miss Patrick, if you could click on that week view really quick so we can show them what it looks like when. So it looks like there's nothing here because all of us teachers, most of us teachers, have our work due at 11:59. So you're not going to see it very well. Okay, so your month view is going to be your best view to see your classes.
Yes, I agree.
Ms. Patrick, can our students going to be able to click directly to the assignment from this calendar?
Yes, so let's take a look at, we're clicking on one of the assignments.
Oh, okay.
You have the option to view the item, and it will take you to this assignment right there.
All right, cool.
So,
All right, so every time after you, each time you log into Schoology, you are gonna need to check your messages and your notifications. I've seen some students who have 47 unread messages in their little envelope. So this little envelope icon are your messages, and right now we can see we have one message for us, and Miss Bernstein has sent us a message, and we can kind of see. This tells me that this was sent to everybody. And it was sent today at 1:41 p.m. and I can see a little bit of the beginning of the message, and I can click view all, or I can just click directly on that message and then it'll take me to all my messages. And Ms. Bernstein says, don't forget our last summative is due today. And then I can write her back if I want. So I can let her know that I got it, and then that will send Ms. Bernstein a notification that I got her message.
but another important part is the notifications. So when a teacher gives some feedback, especially on an assignment, they are going to show up here. So right here we can see that there was a comment that was made.
And it tells you the assignment.
It tells you the assignment on there, and
the only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't actually let you click to the assignment. It just tells you where. So you need to know where that assignment is, unfortunately, to see that comment, unless you can see it under the grade.
Yes. So here we have, there were two comments made here. One of the comments was made that would show up in the grade book that a teacher can mark viewable by the student. And the other one is a comment that was posted under the submission comments on here. So the one that has the new grade, the assignment was graded and a comment was made. Looking at the actual assignment here, you can see both the grade, and if you hover over the little comment bubble there, you can see what the comment was.
And then the rubric, the little waffle, little four square is also, there's your rubric
Yes,
again,
see
to be
the
able to
rubric.
see it.
And this info tells you the percentage,
that
what
it's
period, it's just
Oh, and the category.
yeah, just some basic information there. So this would give the student a view of the one comment. Now, if they click on the assignment submitted button, that's how they would see the actual comments about the submission activity. So there were two notifications there about this particular assignment. One of the comment that was made in the grade book, and another one, the comment about some improvements or something that they could do to maybe help their grade go up. Both would be needed for the student to look at if they wanted to see and hear that communication from the teacher. And again, that communication is very important. If the teacher is sending a comment about the student's submission, I know that I send that quite frequently if the student has not submitted the right information for that particular assignment. And on my end, I'm thinking that the students are looking at these notifications and seeing the information that I've given them so that they can respond and make corrections. If the students are not looking at the notifications, then they're missing out on those opportunities to improve their grade. So one of the features that we use quite frequently is the Microsoft Office applications. In particular, I use a lot of the PowerPoint because it allows the students to submit multiple pictures that can all be viewed at the same time. There are a few things that need to be reviewed as far as what will make the student more successful in working with this particular application. So this assignment right here is one that is using Microsoft PowerPoint. When you click on the assignment, when the student clicks on the assignment, it's going to say assignment, and it's going to give them the rubric if that's attached and a little bit of the instructions. But in order for them to get to the actual PowerPoint, they have to click on My Document. All right. Now, in this section below, if the PowerPoint itself does not show up, sometimes it will ask them to log in.
Or connect.
And there will be a button in this area for them to do that. If you click on Can't See Your Document, it is going to think that you need to sign in again. All right, so if you wait a few minutes and just see if something shows up down here in the bottom, if you're already signed in to your Microsoft OneDrive, this should automatically show up. So when this shows up, you click on Edit, and Edit will actually open up the PowerPoint application and allow you to work within it.
So now, if you're on your phone, though, you have to download the PowerPoint app. Otherwise,
yes,
you can't. But you can still do this on your phone.
Yes, it does look a little bit different for the students on their phone. Of course, it's smaller to work with, but on the phone, it does require the Microsoft app in order to work. If you're on a computer, desktop computer, laptop computer, you'll get what looks like a actual PowerPoint program to work with.
Yeah, it's just through the internet.
Yes, and so then after they've added in a, let's see, where's the insert? Oh yes, insert. We will insert a picture real quick here. We'll just put Starry Night in there. Okay. And that'll be enough for now. So this is automatically saving. All right, it's important to note that when they're working within Microsoft OneDrive, it is set up to automatically save. So I can close this and come back over to my Schoology page. But if you look right here, they're not seeing anything. It is important for them to refresh the page and wait and make sure that what they see here is actually what they intend to submit. I have had several people that are too quick to push the submit button, and I only get part of what they intended. So it's important to refresh the page, look at what you're about to submit, make sure it's all there, and then click the Submit Assignment button and click on Yes, Submit.
And then once you submit, you cannot edit your document. You have to actually contact your teacher through a message or email, or however your teacher has you contacting her or him, and ask for that document to be sent back to you. And then the teacher can unsubmit on their end if you are wanting to make corrections. Otherwise, you will not be able to.
But a very important point to make at this point, anytime a student is resubmitting an assignment, it is very important to let the teacher know, whether it is a regular Schoology assignment or whether it is through one of the Microsoft applications, because if the teacher has already gone and graded those assignments, they may not be looking for it again. So this is again where the communication is very important. Just a simple message to let us know that we should be go and look for some improvements to help them improve their grade.
Yeah, we don't always get notifications on everything that gets resubmitted. And sometimes we are getting hundreds of notifications a day. And so those some of them get lost. And so we don't get to see exactly who has resubmitted. So it's going to be really important for the student to reach out to the teacher and send that quick message.
So to tie this up with the 21st century learners, again, as difficult as a time this is and as difficult as it is learning to maneuver around this technology, this is totally a situation that if you will work with it and be aware of it and communicate with your teachers when you're having a problem, if you don't understand, especially if you are a virtual learner, it will help you to be much more successful, and it absolutely will be a skill that will help you in the future. There isn't any problem that we run across that we can't work together to find a solution for.
Sounds good.